Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga. You are already listening to Boom Radio. Just leave the dial there. Settle down. Listen to it. Open your ear. Don't touch it now. Boom Radio. Live and direct. Frank Donga in the building.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the BoomBar on Boom Radio NG. My name is Sola Rogers.
And my name is Dolupo. Bid you a warm welcome to the bar this very interesting afternoon. It's a very interesting day as we're going to be talking a lot of things. Apparently, a lot of things that we're going to be talking about today is more of updates on the number of things we have talked about in the last couple of days. It's interesting, the turn of a lot of events. Some kind of predicted, some didn't see coming. But any which way, we're going to be talking about it. There's major update coming from the stables of River State. There's well, I think for the past couple of days we've been talking about fake products and how a lot of things had popped up, and there are major updates on that as well. There's, I think the EFCC also has an update on the former power minister that they were looking for, so that we're definitely also going to get around, and a few other things. The Vatican has an interesting, or more like a controversial pronouncement. We hope to get around that as well. Now, let's get right into it. And the first things we're going to be talking about is so yes, on social media. If you are on social media, if you're not, I'm sure that by now a lot of things on maybe Twitter has most likely filtered into maybe like WhatsApp and all that. Now, the conversation of fake products, or the proliferation of fake products in our markets, grew. And I think that last night it started from someone posting pictures of, I think, soy sauce. A particular brand of soy sauce that seems to have been replicated so many times that you don't even know which one is original and which one is fake. It's almost like as if 70 to 80% of what is in the market, because a lot of people start posting pictures and videos and everything, and apparently almost everybody, virtually everybody, had fake of all sorts of things. In fact, I even checked my own and it was fake. Like, it's actually that bad. It's almost like as if the market is saturated with the counterfeit products. And went on to a lot of people up until soaps, toothpaste, medicine, all sorts of things. And it is ridiculous. Like, we're at a point where there are a lot of conversation happening, like, what has NAFDAC been doing? And I think it's a very valid question. Like, I'm not sure it was really this bad before, that now you can hardly, I've seen it up until all sorts of things. Name anything at the moment that there is no counterfeit of. The fear is even now that if you are even using whatever it is you think you have, if it is even original or not. Now there's things like milk, like malt, and also let's put in mind that there's been a few clarifications. I saw a clarification from, I think, Peak, where Peak had to come out to say that someone had posted pictures of two different sachets, and how they had said that it was a rebranding issue. It wasn't like one was fake and one was not. One was original, one was counterfeit. Also, there's I think a brand of malt that also had a lot of people have been talking about, and those ones too have had to come out to say that one brand is from, I think, Togo, another is bottled in Nigeria. So that's the issue. So yeah, but doesn't that even make it more difficult to spot which one is fake and which one is original? So yeah, those are the things that have got a lot of people talking, especially on social media. How did we get here? Let me just put it like that.
Yeah, interesting conversations have been taking place through the years. Actually, I'm trying to expand this. Nigeria seems to have a very serious counterfeiting problem when it comes to products. A lot of consumables are actually adulterated, and substandard products find their way into this country easily, almost as if we don't have a border. And a quick Google search, fake products, Nigeria.
How much of that does it even need to come in? Are you sure they're not even doing it here?
Yeah, I'm coming from somewhere now. A quick Google search, you would find stories from as far back as 2002, stories from 2020, 2021, still saying the same thing that we're talking about now. You know, so we have this long-term problem. Now, we had an Amazon in the person of Dora Akunyili when she was in charge of a particular agency that was in charge of, this kind of infractions. Mm-hmm. And it was almost as if since she left, nobody has been able to, nobody has been able to fill her shoes. That's it. Or maybe they're not creating awareness about what they might have been doing.
They haven't.
But if they have been doing it, the pictures that we have seen in the last 1 week will not be this many, this much. And, the stories that we're hearing are chilling. They're scary. We are sitting on a keg of gunpowder, honestly. I feel the government should declare a state of emergency on this situation. This is how serious it is. And please, ask me why I'm saying this. Drugs, as in medicine, that people use to treat themselves are being counterfeited, they're being faked, they're being, watered down just because some people are trying to make a quick buck. Mm-hmm. The regular sodas and candies and stuff that people ingest, children included, children that their systems are still forming and they don't have enough immunity against certain things, they are exposed to these things without even the parents knowing. It is so bad that some of the people who sell them don't even know the difference. And this is not making excuses for them. I said some, not all.
I think a lot of people don't even know that what they're selling is counterfeit.
That's how bad it is. So how long are we going to, talk about it, then move on and say, you know what, at least we've talked about it, or we put pictures on social media. If people want to actually protest, this is a valid reason to protest. We can't continue to look the other way. And we have experienced it all through our lives. So now, someone crafted, on a lighter note, someone crafted, I think it's Olu Agunloye, President Buhari's former media aide. He crafted a tweet on behalf of the forefathers. Now, in Africa, we have a tradition where you pour libations with schnapp, and you pour schnapps to the forefathers on the floor as a form of prayer and libation. And he said the forefathers are now angry that they have been giving fake drinks all this while. Nigerians are very great people. They've turned it into a joke. People are showing videos of people that say, oh, this is me after taking a fake bottle of Fanta and a fake bottle of NSC combo. We can make jokes. But what about the people that these things... I'm not saying those jokes are wrong, trust me. It helps us get through this madness. But I'm saying that we should also channel our energy towards advocacy and trying to really get a permanent solution to this big fraud that we have all been, exposed to.
Sucked into. And, it's sad because I know that growing up, one of the major things that there was a conversation was about counterfeit clothes. Yeah. It was a thing.
That was the thing now. Fake jeans.
You have
it's still
funny
a thing,
designers and all that.
Fake shoes.
Yeah.
Fake designer shoes.
But the truth is that as bad as those things were, they were not what's the word now? They were not health hazards to us. It was more was more of a business and economy issue. Yeah, makes sense.
You know, it's like Adidas, and you see the spelling or the 3 dashes across. Some people have 4 in their own.
Now that you said it, I remember very well there was. This is very, very funny. How I think that I was with my cousins and my sister one day, and then we can't remember where we went. I think it was in secondary school, and then someone came to, yes, it was church, and then someone was, when you're feeling yourself,
like, man,
whatever, the jacket like that he wore was Tommy Hilfiger and all that, and I don't know, I think it was one of my cousins, I don't know what he was looking for, and then he said he wanted to like check the label or something, and the label had Tommy Fish Finger. Yeah,
it's Hilfiger's cousin.
Now I remember vividly. Yeah. And then it was like something we're just making fun of. Like, are you joking? Yeah. Like, seriously.
You come across Timberland, and this one is non-land. This Timbasi. There was a lot of them.
There were a lot of them.
Nike became Nika. In some big cases.
It was annoying, but counterfeiting drugs, counterfeiting drinks. Soda, see, there's something candy. That I will say. The truth is that they will tell you that we know that water is the best thing that we should take here, and all these fizzy drinks or maybe alcohol is not the best for us. I get it, but the truth is that you can't just take those things out of the society completely or circulation. So even if the ones that people are going to end up taking, how do you think that it is okay? See, that's why I say, like, a lot of these things already have sugar, which is already not good. You now counterfeit it with all sorts of things, add all sorts of chemicals in it. I think that we need to look inward. Starting from, other than, I think that people that buy them as wholesalers, you need to realize that what you're selling to people is dangerous. So maybe it is high time these people also, yes, are people genuinely sometimes not knowing what they're buying is fake? Yes, I think so. But I also feel that it will not be a bad idea at times to be more vigilant, buy these things, because some of these things don't let's even, when it comes to things like clothes, counterfeit clothes are most likely cheaper than the original, yeah? The food and all these things, that most of them are actually not cheaper. No. They're actually not cheaper.
They're as expensive as the product that they are claiming
to be. They are mimicking. So at the end of the day, what's the point? If you are still going to buy it at the same price, the least you can do for your end users is to at least maybe buy from the company that makes them directly. That way, you can be sure to a large extent that what people you're buying from people, you're not just buying from just anybody. Also now, why I think that as sad as this whole thing is, I'm happy this is coming out and there's a lot of awareness with these things, is that now, because a lot of times you literally, like I said, it's happened once or twice around me, and you don't until someone even points it out, you don't realize what you're even buying is counterfeit. Because especially it's actually not even cheap. That's where the issue is. So in your mind, you don't even think what you're buying is counterfeit. I think one thing that this is good for now is that we also, as end users, are going to be more vigilant. Pay more attention to a lot of things that we buy. Don't just pick stuff off the shelf and pay for it.
But there's a problem with that too. I don't know if we have a few more minutes to delve into it. You might not know what to look out for in buying the product that you want to buy. You might not know what to look out for.
No, I get it. In some instances, you don't. In some instances, take for example, the soy sauce and oyster sauce, and what's it called? Until somebody pointed it out yesterday, before I realized that the one in the house is even also counterfeit.
So this is where I was going with it. I've always maintained one thing. You only know if some things are fake if you're used to the original. Like if you are so good at identifying it, and that has played out with this soy sauce thing. Like if, say for instance, if one had been used to but maybe you used to taste it every time you bought the original, you would like, okay, you know what, this tastes a little bit different.
You know, the funny thing is that
what it was.
Also talking about
Because soy sauce goes into a whole lot of things and is maxed already.
Yeah, coming from that, even before I lose my chain of thought, there was something about that I wanted to also talk about. But I also feel that, especially things like medicine, I actually saw that there's actually fake of things like condoms,
there's
like
fake
contraceptives.
There's fake condoms. There's fake. There's fake pain relievers.
No, pain relievers. I know a doctor had told me once that 90% of the paracetamol that people are taking is fake. It's just chalk.
They're fake. They're fake.
And then I'm like, okay, so like, take for example, there's fake of birth control pills.
Yeah.
It's oh my Jesus. Are you kidding?
It's one thing when you tell people to, practice safe sex. It's one thing when you tell people you encourage people to control childbirth. But they go to the market.
And then they're buying fake.
They're buying fake contraceptives. They're buying fake condoms. What happens? The person who thinks he's protecting himself from STDs gets exposed to it, even while protecting himself.
I think it's
the original ones, they told you it's not 100%. Now there's a fake version of the original, and the original is not even 100%. Now contraceptives. So how low are these guys going?
As in how low? The thing also is
look.
That
It has gotten to a point where you need to even check your friends and your partners and you don't even know if it's the fake one that has come home.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Or it's the fake one that has come to the office. This life-saving advice I'm giving you people. You have some friends that, or you're very close. There's a certain way they used to act. They now start acting. Maybe they are being adulterated.
Okay.
And the original one is in Canada or somewhere. I'm telling you, this is happening.
Okay, are you done?
No, I can't be done. No.
Anyway.
Shake me.
Oh my God. So there's actually another angle to this thing. Sorry. So I not like I'm trying to what's the word now? I'm trying to be an advocate for the people that make these counterfeit things. So things like some of these sauces, that we're talking about. Like you pointed out something about taste. The truth is that I have actually tasted a few of these things, and some of them. Okay, sorry. Before we go on, Bukola Medubi says it's unfortunate. I pray that they get exposed. Yeah. Even people are fake.
Yes, now fake people everywhere.
For me, it's like I feel that some of these things, I'm not sure that I will call it completely fake. Like maybe the word counterfeit.
Yeah.
My issue is that some of these things might actually not be bad.
Yeah.
But if it's actually done like in a very nice environment and it is what you say it is. For example, if it is soy sauce,
let's stay on that.
Why not just put your own name on it? Why do you have to counterfeit and make it seem like people are buying the same? At this point right now, sorry.
No, carry on, please.
So at this point right now, the Amoy brand that everybody's talking about that has been counterfeited. If I'm going to go to the market to buy maybe a soy sauce or an oyster sauce now, I will, at the point where I am now, I would rather look for another brand completely.
Okay, so two things are happening. They're taking cheaper products, different brands, and they're branding them as the brand that you want.
Yeah.
We can mention these brands now because we're trying to help them now. There's arguably the most popular mayonnaise brand in Nigeria now is Bama.
Yeah, I think I saw that picture.
Now they are going to make fake Bama wrappers around some other mayo. So in that case, you're not buying poison per se. You're just buying a different brand that is arguably supposed to be cheaper, but they want to make Bama money, so they are selling it to you as Bama, knowing that Nigerians are brand people and they might not buy. Do you get? So that's one of the things that is happening. Another thing that they are doing is that they are also selling expired goods.
Yeah.
As repackaged. They repackage them. Some of you might not be, into buying things in bulk, but there is a market for it where you go and buy, say, milk and sugar and some items that have been taken out of big bags. They're not branded, but they're real stuff.
They're real stuff, yes, no.
They're
yes,
real
no.
stuff. So people go and buy that, and it's cheaper. Then some go and rebag them as branded, So that's why you might not be a connoisseur of all the brands that you're used to, but knowing how certain things smell and taste might
help. Yes, that's where I'm
decipher.
trying to say that. So for me, some of these companies that use like these people's names and all that, why not just put your own name on it? If it's going to sell, it's going to sell. It doesn't, it even gives you more credibility. So yours is original. It's just that it's not the common ones that people buy.
We a couple of years ago, a couple of decades ago, we've talked about this before. When it came to buying vehicle parts, motor vehicle parts, we had something that the spare parts dealers used to call China. And the China is something that is assumed to have been imported from China that is cheaper, but it's not as good as the original. In fact, they would tell you to buy a fairly used part than to buy the brand new one. But a lot of people would buy that because it was cheaper and everything. And now, if you buy something from China, it is the best.
It's good. It's
It's
good.
top
They
notch.
really have.
So what the Chinese did was they kept on working on
how
themselves.
you even take, for
and
example,
they improved the quality.
remember
of what they turn out.
phones?
Yeah.
And some of these brands,
You
when
used to
they
laugh at certain brands
oh
before.
yeah, like it was kind of considered as if you use some brands.
Yeah.
Now some phone brands are like they knock you off your feet. Those same brands now, and
There are features that some of your so-called top brands don't even have.
exactly. I totally agree.
So,
but
what we are trying to say is that to the people who are making their own brands and trying to fake it as another brand, you're in a different category. You're still a bad person at the moment.
because you're trying to deceive people.
Yeah. So, but push your brand. Push your own brand.
Those big brands started
Put your name
somewhere
on
as well.
it. Put your
Yeah.
name on it. You see, one of the biggest mistakes that we've made is that we think that everything that comes from outside Nigeria is the best.
Yeah.
And now some Nigerian products are actually being exported. So these are the mistakes. We need to start looking inwards, Tomato puree. Some companies are making them in Nigeria now. And
and they're catching on a lot. It is catching on.
world standard, like global standard. So how long are you going to continue this way? Again, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, they have a lot of work to do. The Standards Organization of Nigeria,
They have a lot of work to do. NAFDAC has
NAFDAC,
bulk
the
of work.
Consumer Protection
Agencies, yeah.
the state level, the federal level, because I know Lagos State has La Scopa, they all have their work cut out for them now. And it's a multi-pronged approach. I'm glad that they did this raid on the market in Abia State the other day.
Yeah.
And they also
a lot of
busted
times it's
in
about
Anambra.
going to where those things are made. It's not even the markets where they're being sold. It's so that more does not even go back into the market. It makes sense. It's in those places. We hope that they keep up the good work.
Yep.
Continue to see a lot of these things. At this point now, even markets need to be raided.
And please, if you see something, say something. You see someone adulterating or selling fake or expired goods, please report them. If you don't know who to report to us. boomradiong@gmail.com. It is time that we stepped up our game.
We do.
I think there's another message from
Please go ahead.
John Loju. God will help us in this country. Amen.
Yeah, we
Amen.
definitely need help.
Too many fake products out there.
Yeah. Now let's move on from that, but we definitely will stay on this new updates. We will definitely bring them to the bar. Now let's move on from that and let's go to all the way to River State, where yesterday, I'm not sure a lot of people saw this coming, but there was a meeting with the president, the vice president, the national security advisor, the governor of River State, the FCT minister, FCT 001, who used to be the former governor of River State, the speaker, the authentic speaker of the house, the chairman of APC and the PDP in River State, and a few other people.
Former governors of River State.
Yeah, the former governors of River State as well. And it's basically about the drama that has been going on for weeks in River State. If you are in Nigeria and you don't know what's has been happening, you're definitely living on a rock. Any which way, I want to reel out the things that the resolutions that came out and the people that signed these resolutions. According to NTA News, that's the I'm guessing that should be credible. If NTA carries it, then it should be credible. Any which way, according to this, number one, the resolutions, number one, all matters instituted in the court by the governor of River State and his team in respect of the political crisis in River State shall be withdrawn immediately. All impeachment proceedings initiated against the governor of River State by the River State House of Assembly should be dropped immediately. The leadership of the Rivers House of Assembly, as led by Right Honorable Martin Amalue, shall be recognized alongside the 27 members who resigned from the PDP. The remunerations and benefits of all members of the House and the staff must be reinstated immediately, and the governor of River State shall henceforth not interfere with the full funding of the River State House of Assembly. The River State House of Assembly shall choose where they want to sit and conduct their legislative business without... Sorry. That was not... Sorry, it's the internet, it's not me. Without interference or hindrance from the executive arm of the government, the governor of River State shall represent the state budget to a properly constituted River State House of Assembly. The names of all commissioners in the River State Executive Council who resigned their appointments because of the political crisis should be resubmitted to the House of Assembly for approval. There should not be a caretaker committee for the local government in River State. The dissolution of the local government administration is null and void and shall not be recognized. So this was signed by the governor. If I'm right, this deputy governor, the Speaker of the House, the chairman of the APC River State, the PDP chairman River State, the NSA New Ribadu, and Nyesom Wike. Those are the people that signed these. Now, before we go on to ask, like, okay, what are your takes on this? Before we go on to people's reactions, because there are a lot of reactions. Oh, there are a lot.
For and against, of course.
Oh, yeah. I'm asking you.
Okay, well, it's an interesting thing. I saw it coming, believe it or not, I did. Because the political angle to this will have heavy ramifications in 4 years' time or 3.5 years' time when the next elections, come our way. Everything that you're saying now, people need to learn to master the long game. And the president of Nigeria is the master of the long game. So people know about this. Then the security implications of it. The instant that I saw that they were giving the River State crisis an ethnic coloration, I knew there was going to be a problem, a bigger problem. It would actually have dovetailed into a serious security issue. It would have gone beyond APC, PDP, Labour Party. It would more have been this tribe, because I don't want to mention the major tribes, but they know themselves because they were already out. Mm-hmm. versus this tribe. Now, there is no way that starts that security will not be affected. And once security is affected in Rivers State, production of oil will be affected. Gas, production of gas, transportation, exportation, a whole lot of things would have. So people don't see the economic and security angle to this crisis. We've been harping on the governance aspect of it, how governance is going to suffer because of the crisis. But the ramifications, the huge effect that it's going to have, the knock-on effect would have actually affected you and me too. You say it doesn't concern you, you're not you are. So the best thing to do was to bring the warring factions, I use the word warring loosely and in quotes, to the table. What are the issues? And if you want to go further back, something must have triggered this. We all know that it is a system in Nigeria where the incumbent always has a preferred candidate to hand over to. 96% of the time, that's me just calling up one figure in my head. This happens in Nigeria. If you go to Lagos State, for instance, you know that they have a succession plan and there's always some arrangement. It's there. Go to Delta State, Ibori then to Okowa, then, do you understand? Now to the sheriff. So this is how it happens. So it is not even a party thing, it's a Nigerian thing. Governor Zulum is doing well. The current vice president brought him into politics and made him his preferred candidate. So this is what Nyesom Wike has done with Sim Fubara, who was his accountant general. Something has triggered them. Maybe people say, Wike is overbearing and he won't allow him govern. Maybe that's what happened. We don't know. Maybe it's Sim Fubara saying, you know what, I don't even care. I'm now the governor and I'm not going to listen to anybody because I have powers. Maybe. But whatever it is, politics is a game. We should not play too much politics to the detriment of governance. And that's what we're trying to advocate here. However, you cannot downplay the importance of politics when there are issues on the table. So what has happened is that Mr. President has looked at it, that this is beyond, this is beyond anything that you are saying. He sees the economic and the security angle to it.
Okay, so like I said, before we go into people's reactions, I have a few things to say about this pronouncement here. Now, all matters instituted by the governor, blah, 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 everybody, impeachment proceedings is dropped. First things first, I think that the only thing that favors the governor in this matter is the fact that impeachment proceedings are going to be dropped against him. If we say, look at the so-called warring factions, I think the governor is at a loss here. Obviously, a lot of things that he planned to do, he can't do.
Can I tell you? Can I come in? Because it's something that we should contend. It's something we should discuss. It's not something that I should just sit back and let you say it and go away. No. Dolupo, the governor was already boxing himself into a corner.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was getting
so
there.
So this is a favor to him.
There was a lot of things.
He was already making a lot of legal mistakes.
I know that. I saw a thread today where someone was going on about how the governor, which a lot of people think that whatever the president did is wrong. I don't think it's right or wrong. My issue with it is that from the get, there was a lot of illegality. Now, why he said that he is on the losing end is because, of course, for him to go ahead to do a lot of these things, he felt he could do it and he could get away with it. Some governors have gotten away with some of these things.
Okay.
He probably thought that he too could get away with it. A governor got away with having no House of Assembly member or just a couple of House of Assembly members for years and nothing happened. Why I'm saying so is that, but it started with how I think that it is the fact that there is no proper, it's not that there is no proper, what's it called, but I don't think that we ever give these things, we ever follow the law as the devolution of power. We know that the legislature is not the business of the governor. I do not see the reason why the governor made, I think that was his number one mistake. When he first made issues, of course, he was fighting them. Only God knows what happened that he fought them. I do not think that a governor should be fighting the House of Assembly members. I feel that those are probably the most powerful people in the state.
If they have to fight, let them fight. If it's about governance, I think they should fight.
It's okay for them to argue and all that.
Yes.
Then you now go ahead and feel that you have powers to destroy where they stay because you say that there was some structural issues. Really? Suddenly realize that there was some structural issues. If
there were structural issues, there is a way you go about it.
The National Assembly is undergoing renovation.
There's a way you go about it.
It's not the president's business where they're staying or where they meet.
Have they started reconstruction? You have demolished this building over a week ago.
We know for a fact.
Have they started excavation? No. You see, nobody is blind to these political moves. That's why I think he's making all the wrong moves.
Yeah, and then you went ahead.
You presented the budget to four people.
You presented the budget to 5. I think it was 4. Is it 4 or 5? You presented the budget to 5 people because they're 32. 5 people. Because 27 people defected. Yes, according to the Constitution, those seats can be declared vacant if there is actually no issues in the PDP. From the past couple of weeks, we all know that there were issues in the PDP in Rivers State. So that I don't think that they already have an excuse, more like. Now, for them to even move, there is also the part where it is a court that has to declare those seats vacant and not a speaker of 5 people. After 26 or 27 people had removed someone as the majority leader, then now goes on to sit somewhere else and say that you are now the new speaker of 5 people. I think from the get, that singular act, because whether there's a court order or not, one thing I think I have come to realize is that even if you say there is a court order to whatever, the minute what you are doing is already standing on an illegality, there's no point.
We have a comment from Olu Agunloye again. He says, the fact that all these things are happening in Nigeria is crazy.
I agree.
Very crazy.
Very, very.
Because we should be talking governance now.
Yeah, but it is what it is. You know why I'm even happy why this is coming out? Because it's not the first time we've seen governors be governors and feel that they have absolute power over everything. I think that it is good this is happening now so that people will know their limits. I think a lot of governors do not know their limit.
You see, as a politician, you are vested with certain powers depending on your position. Governor Fubara is vested with certain powers depending on his position. But he also doesn't have good advisors. I repeat over and over again.
But the question now is...
You're supposed to study the Constitution, then use it as a tool to achieve these things that you want to achieve, so that people will see you as the governor and they will see that, governance is going on even with crisis. A governor in the northern part of Nigeria left the PDP to join the APC. The deputy governor said he wasn't going to cross over. Said he's not going. The governor did everything he could and kicked him out. Do you know what the deputy governor did? He did not. I'm talking about Zamfara State. He didn't take it lying down. He went to court. Now, because of the timing of his case, he still got a judgment. Yeah. Even if it is going to be backdated, they'll pay him.
Yeah.
But
the bottom line is that it was that impeachment thing is crossed out of his. Yes.
Do you see what I'm trying to say here? So, in Ondo State, the first time of Governor Akeredolu, he had issues with his deputy because the deputy was ambitious and he also wanted to run and whatever. And at the end of the day, he tried to remove his deputy. He couldn't.
He couldn't.
The deputy joined 3 parties in the space of 3 months and he was still the deputy.
And he was still deputy governor.
So the governor was
really
from one party, and the deputy was from another party.
There was really nothing anybody could do.
So what I'm trying to say is that if you go through the constitution, go through everything, Governor Fubara should have played his game in a way that they won't even need anybody to intercede for you. Do you understand?
Okay,
so I feel that he showed his hand too early, and he also tried to fight with too many illegalities.
Illegalities, I agree with you. But now, talking about illegality, what the president did really and truly, some of his pronouncements, I don't know. I think that is very unnecessary. One of the things is, I get the part where the governor should not have any interference, or the executive arm should not have any interference with the House of Assembly. I get that. That makes sense. Because from the get, that shouldn't have happened. Now, the governor should represent the budget. Yes, I think that it's something that I kept on saying here, that you cannot have 5 constituencies out of 32 and say that you pass a budget. That was already wrong in itself. Now, saying that all commissioners that resigned should be resubmitted to the House of Assembly. Excuse me. My question is, those people were appointed. They willingly resigned. Why do they need to be reappointed?
Okay. The thing here is that there are always more than one way to look at things. If the governor did not sack them, they sacked themselves. Mm-hmm. They should go and stay where they are. Let him appoint his own new cabinet, right? That's what a lot of people are saying. But what they are trying to tell you now is that they are going back to the time where there was no crisis. They're going back to the time where everything was
that's not true. We all know that's not true.
Now, what they should have said, what if I was part of the communique drafting body at that meeting yesterday, I would have said that we advise. Yeah. Not that we will tell you take them back. We say,
because it's obvious that the governor is not on good terms with his commissioners.
If you feel that you can still work with them, and they come back, and they take their resignation letters back, they recall it. If it's okay by you,
keep in mind some of these people worked with the former governor. That
as himself too did.
So
they were both.
I get it.
On that
so
team.
It probably.
So if it's okay by you, Mr. Governor, take them back. If it's not, leave it.
Yeah, I don't think that it should be ordered to take them back or not.
But he also knows. He also knows that he's made too many mistakes. Now, some of the things that they asked him to do is to protect him, and people don't see it. If any serious-minded person from Rivers State goes to court and takes the state government, because you can't sue the governor individually, but you can sue the state government and all the other people there, and tell them that this budget is illegal.
Oh yeah, the truth is that I always felt the budget.
If someone takes it to court,
literally broke the camel's back.
Do you know what happens if the court makes that pronouncement?
It was that budget.
Do you know that there will be no governance?
It did not even make any sense. Whoever thought that
some of those resolutions are to protect him,
and then you sat the so-called 5 people. For you to pass anything in the
government house,
you have to have read it 3 times. And it has gone through the first, second, and third reading all in 24 hours. Are we joking?
And it was passed.
Are we joking?
Inside government house. With one funny looking mace like that.
I think that he really, the governor of Rivers State did himself in at this point. But there are a few reactions that we're going to take before we move on from that. And a PDP chieftain, the former spokesperson of the PDP, Ologbondiyan. I don't know, but that doesn't sound right, but sorry. Had described President Tinubu's intervention as an abuse of power.
Okay.
He said he tweeted that the Ashiwaju's declarations on River States are unconstitutional and a wholesome abuse of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The law is that INEC holds election in the vacant seats of the Rivers House of Assembly in line with provisions of the 1999 Constitution. Bola Tinubu, as a major beneficiary of our constitutional democracy, must not be allowed to turn our nation into a banana republic where anything goes. Okay, so before I go to, let me just read.
Okay, because I'm wondering why they always have selective memory, especially the PDP.
That's what I was gonna say.
When Bukola Saraki,
a whole Senate
President, Speaker of the House, and over 1 million people crossed from the APC to the PDP.
It was fine.
You didn't declare their seats vacant. Because there's actually something that says that if there's crisis, they can leave. Abi, is it not true?
Yeah. So, another person, in the person of Dele Momodu, also wrote and said that the directives to the River State by a federal president is really absurd in legal terms. No president can be a headmaster of both state and federal. What manner of democracy are we practicing that allows a president to intervene in the internal affairs of opposition parties and overrules the constitution unchallenged, and our politicians comply as if they are in a slave camp? Opposition parties must vehemently oppose this brazen attempt at forcing a one-party dictatorship in Nigeria.
Can we ask Mr. Dele Momodu, I hope you get to see this video, sir, the governor that presented a budget to 5 people, what part of the constitution backs that?
So a lot of people are claiming, I've seen a lot of people talk about the fact that those seats were already vacant.
By
so
who?
The whole house was only constituted with 5 people. There are only 5 people in the house.
Where's the sense in this place? How? At what point in time? Because what they've done is to deprive the entire people of those constituencies of their... You think it was right for the governor to stop paying them their emoluments and their, all their monies and stuff? What is good for the goose is good for the gander. There's nothing wrong in getting involved to prevent something from degenerating. You already heard Asari Dokubo and the things that they were saying. You already heard what they were saying. You people think at times it's a joke. It's until the fire starts that you be, why didn't the president say something?
Yeah.
Why didn't he call them to a meeting?
Okay, so there are a few other people that had a lot of things to say. So a Nigerian journalist, Rufai Oseni, wrote and said, I talked about how a ceasefire will favor Wike. I think Fubara just lost the fight after signing those agreements of the ceasefire. Those lawmakers will be used against him. I might be wrong, but Wike has effectively consolidated and Fubara has possibly lost the plot. I might be wrong. Another person at Joseph Onwura wrote, Sim Fubara has made a very costly mistake. He was really inexperienced after all. He would enjoy the 4 years if he is lucky, and then amount to political nothing. Men like Wike understand only the language of power. You don't beg, you don't fold. If you do, they strike. Anyway, keep firing from all cylinders and they will melt down. Another at Doc Mayokin says, Sim knows he can't win this. He has no solid structure to back him. He faced Wike too early before building his base. Obaseki waited 3 years before pulling the sword, and he had Wike, Edo PDP, and the anti-Oshomole APC insiders behind him.
That's my point.
Sim had no strategy before going to war.
That's my point.
Another person, let me take one more, says, okay, so let's put things in perspective. With the details of the so-called agreement Tinubu and Wike forced through today, it is clear Fubara is only colonial personnel. River State is under the colonial rule of Tinubu Wike political mafia coalition. Well,
everybody is entitled to their opinion. I see the bigger picture, and the bigger picture
People are calling him a lame duck, all sorts of things.
Call him anything you want. Has he not brought it upon himself in the first place? I repeat, you agreed to go into a government where the bulk of your cabinet served the immediate past governor, and you agreed.
Yeah, I think that already
and you agreed.
Already showed that
you went into an election where you did not campaign. Mr. Fubara, we did not see you on the campaign trail. It was Wike that was going from village to village, from post to post. True or false?
Where were you?
You went into all of this with your open eyes, and you just
think that he was doing it okay. Yeah,
because he thinks you're a fine boy, that's why he's supporting you. Let's be honest with ourselves. It is politics. It is politics.
It was obvious that former Governor Wike had his hands all over this government.
I know someone who was a one-time senator in Ogun State, who was asked by the incumbent governor to take over from him. And he said no. He's a one-time senator. The man didn't go back again. He could have gone because it was given to him on the platter. He said no. Do you understand what I'm saying? Fubara knew what he was getting into. People are now fighting for Fubara.
I think that he probably thought that once he became governor, he had some powers that you could.
In 6 months, Wike, that was a local government chairman.
Keep in mind this man.
Wike, that was a commissioner. Wike, that was a minister. Wike, that was a governor for 8 years. In 6 months, you are going to break his structure up. A structure that he has built over 20 years. You are going to just break it up because you have immunity.
Anyway, the truth is that
please understand politics before you make comments.
I see this happening. I see this not going. Maybe there's a calm at the moment, but I'm very afraid for Governor Fubara. Actually, very, very afraid.
I am not afraid for Governor Fubara. Governor Fubara knew what he was getting into. But Governor Fubara is an adult, and he agreed to go because maybe he thought that he would be able to pull some stunts. But with 5 members of the House as against 20, you didn't even have 12. You didn't even have 15. It's 5.
5.
It's 5 loyalists that you have from 32.
Actually, that is a very, very, really, just 5 people are loyal to you. Wow. That's not even a good sign.
Politics is a game of numbers.
Anyway, we will definitely follow that. We'll see there is a story. People have not substantiated it, that the Rivers Broadcasting Corporation is talking about how the that letter that the signature of the governor was forged. There's a conversation around that going, but there's also the thing that the governor has not said anything. This came out yesterday. If his signature was truly forged, I think that he seemed to be very vocal in the past few days, especially on social media.
Look, whatever way he wants to play this, it's the people of Rivers State that I pity.
Yeah, I think it's so early for this drama.
Because look, the man came in guns blazing in the area of infrastructure. There's a bridge that he's building. It's going to be one of the longest in Nigeria. I looked at that plan, and he's also done the Wike thing by paying Julius Berger, in advance. And I said, this man is going to do a lot of infrastructure because there's already a foundation for him to build on. Now nobody's talking about that. They have in Rivers State arguably the best law school structure in the whole of Nigeria. They have arguably the best NYSC camp in the whole of Nigeria. There are things on ground that Governor Fubara can build on, that the people that will help increase the quality of life in Rivers State. This is what it should be about. If I am him, he is still governor, regardless of whether he signed a deal or not. This is what you will focus on for the next 3.5 years.
Let's
forget
focus on
about politics. Now, for the next 3.5 years, just go and work. Like, turn the whole state into one Dubai, the one you can achieve in 3 years. Let the people see. Then the people will speak for you. I'm telling you. But you see, all these, you're pulling this one.
It's too much drama.
You really don't have that structure. And it takes money and time to build.
Exactly. Now, before we go quickly, wow, our time is fast spent, as the EFCC has now confirmed the detention of former Minister of State for Power, Dr. Olu Agunloye, days after he was declared wanted.
This is good news, though. They've arrested him.
Yes.
All I can see is $6 billion. How much you spend and reach? How much you spend? There's a rumor that the president that he served then, President Obasanjo, says he would gladly be a witness in. Now, we can take him up on that offer. Because how does one person steal $6 billion?
Anyway, we will definitely follow up on that. We'll see what
Allegedly.
the EFCC has to say on that. Now, quickly, before we go, there's something I also want to talk about, how the International Organization for Immigration has warned Nigerians against relocation with fake employment, saying that in the UK, for example, there are over 1,000 Nigerians that are stranded. People get to up and go, empty everything they have, and they go, and now they do not have employment, and it is this so-called employment that gave them the means to come into the country.
There's nothing wrong with trying to jackpot. There's nothing wrong with trying to, go in search of the golden fleece. But what they're trying to say, and what we've been saying since, is just do it the right way.
Do it the right way.
So that you don't go through this kind of embarrassment, Because I can imagine how much you guys would have spent to even travel alone. Then to stay in a foreign country, the cost of living there is also very high.
Yeah, so it's anyway, we'll see where all that is going to go to, as the Supreme Court has reserved judgments in the PDP and Rhodes-Vivour cases against Governor Sanwo-Olu. And I think this one, and most importantly, the case in Kano State. I know that they're going to sit on Thursday in Kano. The Supreme Court is going to sit to hear everybody's, everybody's submissions. That is one thing that's one case that everybody is definitely looking forward to.
Yeah.
Whichever way we want to see it. Also, quickly before we go, talking about the courts. The court has now barred former Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Pauline Tallen, from holding public office. Now, this is a very interesting case. Why? Because this was something that did not even concern her. She made a very damning statement against the judiciary when I think it was the first judgment in Adamawa State between the governor and the APC candidate Aishatu Binani, and where I think she made a very damning statement. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'll look for it. And lawyers actually went to court, took her to court, and said that she had to put out an apology in 30 days in newspaper dailies, retracting the statement that she made, which she didn't. And now the court has now said that if she doesn't, because she didn't at the stipulated time, the court has now barred her from holding any public office.
Maybe she's no longer interested in public office.
So, no, I don't think that is next. I think that it is the same thing that we talk about. I remember we had this conversation about I think it was the PDP. And I think that it is something that we need to look into. We cannot be making some very, very disparaging comments about the judiciary and nothing is going to happen. I think that it is completely wrong. What she said was that the judgment is a kangaroo judgment. We cannot be making those statements. You might not like it, but I think that no matter what, if you didn't believe in the judiciary, you shouldn't have gone to court. You can't be making those statements. I think it is wrong on all levels. Completely wrong. Any which way, just wanted to put it out there as there is a bit of blackout here and there as the Transmission Company of Nigeria announced that there's a shutdown for 72 hours of the Igmi power plant, which means that there's a reduction of the
over 600 megawatts of power not getting to the grid
from
Igbi's turbines, because the Nigerian gas company needs to service its equipment on that side.
Its equipment. So yes, that's what's happening. So we're going to talk about the Vatican and their pronouncement on same-sex couples, but we do not have time for that because I think that is a whole conversation that should be had about that. So I think we'll move that till tomorrow. But also quickly before we go, sadly there are a lot of things happening around the world, as about 126 people have died after a 6.2 magnitude earthquake struck northwestern China. Also, a volcano has now erupted in Iceland, a peninsula there where there have been weeks and weeks of intense earthquakes.
Yeah.
Now there's now a volcano. Also, an explosion at a Guinea fuel depot has killed 14 and has injured about 190 people.
That's sad.
Yeah, sadly, also a Canadian superstar, popular Celine Dion, is said to have lost control of some of her muscles due to the stiff person syndrome that she has.
Yeah, saw some pictures, man. They're really sad.
Yeah, really, really sad. And on that note, that is all we have to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you for the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.
Peace.